Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that can literally make or break your importing business, figuring out the absolute cheapest, most efficient shipping methods from China to the USA. And we're looking at this specifically for small and medium-sized importers. You know, navigating international logistics can sometimes feel like trying to solve a giant puzzle in the dark. But exploring these strategies today is going to shed a ton of light on the entire process. So let's dive into this. All right, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start by navigating the shipping maze, then weigh sea freight versus air freight, break down DDP and customs, walk through the Amazon FBA playbook, and finally calculate your true total landed cost. Let's get into it. Section 1, Navigating the Shipping Maze. It is surprisingly easy to hemorrhage money through hidden supply chain traps. A quote might look super cheap at first, right? But then, bam, destination fees just creep right up on you. And think about the hourglass effect. If you miscalculate your transit times or totally forget to factor in massive events like Lunar New Year or port congestion, it can absolutely wreck your inventory planning. We've also got to watch our backs for shady freight fraud by really vetting our shipping agents. Plus, we need to decode the whole Incoterms puzzle, which basically just dictates exactly who pays for what and when. Spotting these pitfalls early, that's the real foundation of a profitable supply chain. It saves you massive headaches and, absolutely crucial here, it saves your bottom line. Section 2, Sea Freight versus Air Freight. This perfectly illustrates the ultimate logistics balancing act, speed versus volume. If you're bringing in high-margin, super lightweight goods that need to hit the market literally tomorrow, air freight is your high-speed highway. But if you're dealing with bulk items like, say, heavy woodworking machines or huge pallets of consumer goods, sea freight gives you that massive capacity you need at just a fraction of the cost. Let's break down the actual in numbers. Sea freight offers a remarkably low cost per kilogram. Honestly, it's the most cost-effective method out there for both full container loads and less than container loads. But the trade-off? You're looking at a 20 to 40-day transit time. Air freight totally flips the script. Your transit time shrinks down to a lightning-fast 3 to 10 days, but your cost per kilo absolutely skyrockets. So as an SMB importer, you've really got to be strategic here. Air freight should be your emergency button, strictly reserved for urgent goods or just avoiding a dreaded stockout, while sea freight should really handle the vast majority of your planned inventory. Section 3, Understanding DDP and Customs. Okay, if you only remember one term from today, make it DDP. Delivered duty paid. When you ship DDP, your supplier or forwarder takes on all the responsibility, all the risk, and all the costs to get those goods right to your warehouse store. And yes, that includes navigating all those complicated import duties and taxes. For a smaller importer who doesn't have a massive dedicated logistics team, DDP is a total game changer. It completely simplifies the door-to-door process and gives you rock-solid predictability in your pricing right from day one. Now, building right off of that, we have to talk about HTS codes. The Harmonized Tariff Schedule is basically the global language of customs. Literally every single product has a specific HTS code, and that exact code dictates the percentage you're going to pay in import duties. Getting this wrong? Huge hidden risk. If your forwarder tries to misclassify your goods just to snag a lower tariff and customs catches on, which they often do, your goods get stuck at the port and you get slapped with steep penalties. So locking in your precise HTS code up front is an absolutely essential strategy for accurate quotes and smooth border clearance. Alongside DDP, you're definitely going to bump into FOB and CIF. FOB, or free on board, means the supplier gets your goods to the port in China and you take the wheel from there. It's super clear and gives you total control. CIF, though, cost insurance and freight can be a total nightmare waiting to happen. In a CIF deal, the seller pays to get the goods to your destination port. Sounds great, right? Wrong. It is notoriously basically a trap for hidden costs. Once your cargo hits the U.S. port, local agents can hit you with massive handling fees you never agreed to. Always compare your CIF quotes against DDP or FOB to make sure you aren't walking right into one of these traps. Section 4, the Amazon FBA Playbook. So what if you're shipping directly from a Chinese factory straight to an Amazon fulfillment center? Well, that requires extreme precision. Here's the exact step-by-step process to keep things running like a well-oiled machine. First up, you absolutely need to choose a specialized FBA forwarder. Amazon has incredibly strict receiving rules, down to the exact pallet size and label placement. A general forwarder might totally botch this, but an FBA specialist does it all day long. Next, you classify your goods with that HTS code we talked about, clear customs smoothly at the US border, and finally, your forwarder books a highly specific delivery appointment with the Amazon warehouse. Skip a step or cut corners here, and Amazon will flat out reject your shipment, leaving you paying storage fees while you try to sort it out. Section 5. Calculating total landed cost. All right, here is the crucial point. That initial shipping quote you get from a supplier, it is almost never your final landed cost. The base freight, the actual ocean or air transport, might only make up about 60% of your total expense. Think about that. If you're pricing your products based solely on that first number, your profit margins are basically going to vanish. You have to account for that hidden 40%. Customs brokerage and duties can easily chew up 25% of the cost, depending on your HTS code. And that last leg of domestic trucking to your warehouse, plus any temporary storage, that can tack on another 15%. Total landed cost is literally the only metric that matters when figuring out your real profitability. So, armed with the knowledge of DDP, HTS codes, and the real cost split between sea and air freight, you're now ready to take back control of your logistics. Actually, I challenge you to audit your very next shipment, run a DDP quote against your current setup, double-check those customs classifications, and make sure your forwarder is actually prioritizing transparency. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to this. You have to ask yourself, are hidden fees and the wrong shipping methods secretly destroying your profit margins right now? Something to think about. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and we'll catch you next time.